Okay, hi guys, it's Nemesis here again, and I'm back with another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I remade Lemonade by aespa. So let's get right into it. So first off, I don't know why I never said this before in previous tutorials, but our tempo is going to be 128, and we're in the key of C sharp minor. So for the first intro synth here, I have this. It's basically, I forgot what it's called. I don't know. It's some type of wave. Okay, it's something. But these are the settings. I have pause to see all that. And then on top of that, I have the space designer and a transient shaper so it punches more. And this is what it sounds like on its own. Yeah, just that melody. And then on top of that, I have these reverb plucks. This is just a sample I got from Splice. I don't know what it was called. I don't really name my samples when I put them in here. But I have a transient shaper. I have EQ. I got a bit crusher on it. Some inner pitch. A free amp. And Valhalla Space Modulator. This is what it sounds like with no plugins. And then with plugins, it sounds like this. And with the synth, it sounds all like this. The intro sounds like this. And then this here is the same exact thing, but I increased something. I think I increased this thing here, so it sounds, so it sounds like more full. There's probably like a higher release time on it too, but it sounds like this now. And then I just did the same thing here, and then just added sidechain. And then Pluck's still doing the same thing. And then when the kicks come in, make sure everything is sidechained. Okay, any instrument that's playing has to get sidechained. Okay, so this is the Plex when the kicks come in. Then I have a riser with that. And then I have this percussion that starts on Ning Ning's verse here. And then topped with a shaker. Yeah, and then the kick, simple 4 on the floor kick, like this. And then on the I'll Make It Lemonade part, the kick is gonna go along with the lyrics, so like that. And then with the kick on that same pattern, you're gonna have this rave stab here. I just have a little EQ boost on it. And also some other stuff. When Ning Ning starts her verse, you're gonna start this riser here. yeah, and then have hi-hats with the kick as well. And then I just added another riser, just a bunch of risers to give it more build up. So all together, oh, also with on the I'll make it lemonade part, you have this bass here. And then all together, the intro should sound like this. And then I'm gonna pause for a bar here. And then now we get into the main beat here. So I have this acid rave bass I found on Splice. I have a sidechain on it, some EQ modulation, free amp on it, and a sub bass on it. And this is what it sounds like on its own. 1 second. Okay. This is what it sounds like, no plugins on it. And then you're gonna keep the same 4 on the floor kicks here. Now with the reverb plug, it changes just a little bit. You're gonna take out that first hit. So see how it's like this? Just like take out this first one here, and it's like that, like that. So it'd be like this. And then you're gonna have some claps in between. And then second half of the verse, you're gonna throw in these hi-hats. And then have a riser to transition. And that's the whole verse right of that part. And then you're just gonna have the kick do 1, then back, okay, like that. And on that first kick, you're gonna have this growl. I just got this from Splice again. And then the plucks are gonna change notes actually. Just when the beat comes back here on beat 4, just have like a little release moment here. And then keep the same bass going and the same percussion going in the hats. And then add in this pluck thing. Now I have it modulated with the pitch bend going up like that. This is the serum preset I have for that. Pause to copy it if you need. And then for the pre-chorus here, you're gonna have this Reese bass really any respace I think would work for this. It's a pretty simple respace. I have some distortion on it and some low end EQ boost and covering up the high end here to make it a little more muffled. And then this is the same notes as the bass I just played, but a different instrument. And then there's this little bass, like sequence almost. I have a sidechain reducing the low end of a little bit, and then more transient attack. This is the serum preset I have for it. So altogether the basses sound like this. There's this pluck that goes throughout it. I have some distortion on this. So the way I got it like that is just, you just take this same thing here and just like have it repeat the same note. So it's just that note, and just copy and paste it everywhere here. And then this was made with serum, so you would just do what I showed you for the pluck up here and just like keep it pitch bending until the chorus. And there's some chords going with this all. That, and then keep the percussion going, the hats and the shakers, and then have a release on the beginning of it. And then you're gonna have a drone throughout the whole thing. Just go until like the whole pre-chorus. Same thing here, when the kicks come in, make sure everything is sidechained to the kick. Riser comes back. So yeah, second half of the pre-chorus, kick comes back. Riser. Yeah, and then the riser comes back again. And that's basically the pre-chorus. And then have this noise sweep to transition. So together it sounds like this. Yeah, and then for the chorus, it's basically the same beat kind of you had in the verse. So we're still having the bass. And the pluck, I think the plucks might have changed. Let's see. yeah, it's basically just add a release on it, and then have some more hats going throughout it so it feels more full. And then top it off with this wub base I got from Splice. And that's pretty much the chorus. And then pause for another bar. And the beat comes back in. And now you have these plucks going down. This is Serum, but I bounced it as an audio file. I have some distortion and some transient. Yeah, and it's pretty much the same thing. Here are the plucks. Yeah, same pattern there, so. And then have a riser at the end here. Like that. And copy and paste the pre-chorus, but it's going to be a little bit different this time. So we start with the kicks already in it. And then we add in, make sure that there's no percussion when the kicks are here though. No percussion on this part, but then percussion comes back in the second half here. So the kick pattern changes a little bit here. And then the claps are going to be going along with the kick. And that's pretty much it. And then copy and paste the chorus, but add some little percussion here and there, because the percussion changes very slightly. So it's like that. Very subtle detail, barely anyone probably noticed, but yeah. And then have that noise loop again, like you're going into the pre-chorus with the release as well. And then the bass is going to change like this. Yeah, and same thing here. And then have the chords go along with it. Like this. And then obviously we're going to sidechain the chords here. And then the kick, the drone is still here, so keep that, and then the kick comes back when Winter starts singing. So, bridge should sound like this. And then just have this in the background. It's barely noticeable, but it's the same sound in the beginning up there. when we transition to the last chorus, you're gonna unmuffle it, but have it like rise up like this. And then you're gonna stop on beat 3, and then have a little water drop sound effect here. And you're just gonna have the drone going with kicks and percussion and the risers. And then, because it's the final chorus, we gotta make a big impact, so I'll have this downlifter. Then have some claves here. And I think we have the claves in between here. And then on the last half, before the last chorus, you're gonna have these plucks here. Come back. And then just repeat the chorus.
Wait, hold up, stop.
And that's how you recreate Lemonade by aespa. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. Please stay tuned if I do more tutorials in the future. And yeah, bye.